Well, greetings from I wish I was in Chicago.
Yeah, you and me both, pal.
Yeah.
I'm Gary Lambert. I'm here. My couch is here. That's a hint as to where here is. But the really lucky people are at Wrigley Field, but we're pretty lucky too because we get to watch those people enjoying the show and we get to watch the show. Wrigley Field, arguably the greatest place on the planet to watch a baseball game. But who knew until a few years ago that it was an amazing place for a concert as well. So really happy for those people who made it there in a great city, Chicago.
I've been to exactly one ball game at Wrigley. It was in 1998. It was during the Sammy Sosa era, and it was a White Sox versus Cubs game with the requisite brawling in the stands and everything. And I had the quintessential Wrigley experience of watching somebody hit a ground rule double into the ivy.
Oh,
But
yes.
more fun than that, I've seen Dead and Company at Wrigley a couple of times, and it really is a wonderful place. The shakedown is right outside the stadium. The whole town rolled out the red carpet for us in 2015, and I think they've welcomed our gang back a bunch of times since then.
Yeah. Yeah, I was there in 15 and 17 and just love the place. So this is what we call Dead Air with Lambert and Gans. That's actually the halftime show. Is that this is the little prelude to the Dead and Company show at Wrigley Field, first of two to conclude the summer tour. And I think we're going to have the shortest break between a summer tour and fall tour ever because they start again in a few weeks in October, and they added Red Rocks, as a lot of you I'm sure already know. Yeah. People very excited about that. Colorado gets a double dip of love from the band. And gee, I wonder if it has anything to do with what's legal in Colorado. But
I hadn't thought of that, but yes. We should also mention that we're here to get you excited about this show, which we're obviously excited about ourselves, but also to let you know that nugs.net is streaming this. If you're looking at this free preview on one of the public platforms, you can go over to livedead.co and buy the feed, and then you'll get to watch the entire show. This free sample will include the first song of set one, and then they'll come back later and give you our between set schmooze, which today will be with Al Schneer of Mo, by the way. And then you'll see the beginning of set two. But everybody involved in this equation here would love you to go over to livedead.co and buy the stream so you can enjoy the entire thing with incredibly high quality video, also available in 4K, by the way, if you have the super high-end stuff. And also to look at all of the audio options that are available. You can download these shows as soon as possibly like an hour after the show tonight. You can download it in one of a number of audio forms and be listening to it before you get home, actually.
That's right. It's really amazing. The depth and breadth of the NugsNet library is fantastic. I avail myself of it all the time because a bunch of my favorite artists are affiliated with Nugs.net. And also a new development, there is a SiriusXM offers a platinum VIP package, I think they call it, which along with your SiriusXM subscription and other amenities also includes some content from Nugs.net. And you can't get a whole lot more synergistic than that because we're on SiriusXM every Sunday with a radio show called Tales from the Golden Road.
That's so very true, Gary. I almost forgot to mention that part. We're expecting the band to hit the stage soon-ish, but we have to fill a little bit of time here. And among the things we want to talk to you about are the Rex Foundation, which is very dear to the hearts of Grateful Dead community going back 40 years now. And through nugs.net, you can make a donation to the Rex Foundation. If you look down below, in fact, it's right under my face as I'm talking to you now, 2nu.gxs/Rex. We also are heavily into promoting Headcount, which is a nonpartisan organization devoted to persuading and inspiring and motivating everybody to vote. Gary and I are old hippies who grew up in that time when young people being allowed to vote was a critical issue. I personally became eligible to vote because the Constitution was changed to enable 18-year-olds to vote in 1972, and I've never missed an election since. And regardless of your affiliations, your political leanings, we firmly believe that the country would be better off if more people voted. If everybody voted, the political system would be more reflective of the will of the people. And we encourage you to visit headcount.org and find out how you can register to vote if you haven't already, and how you can help. You can even get to go to music festivals for free if you want to work a table for Headcount and stuff like that. So there are some benefits in it for you as well. But what we're looking at is the planetary welfare of democracy, asking everybody to participate by paying attention to what's going on in the world and registering to vote, and then voting on the day that it's happening.
And I have to say, I had an incredibly inspiring experience on so many levels last night. I got invited to the dress rehearsal for the Broadway reopening of David Byrne's show, American Utopia, which is a stunning piece of art. You may have seen the HBO filmed version by Spike Lee. And David Byrne is very closely affiliated with Headcount. They're going to have a table in the lobby at every performance. And David went into this rap, first of all, lauding the work of Headcount, but also just talking about democracy on the fundamental grassroots level. He did this wonderful thing. He pointed to this one tiny slice of the audience, like the stage left orchestra seats for about 10 rows. And he said, and he had those people lit by the lighting designer. And he said, you see those people? That's about 20% of this audience. That's how many people vote in most state or local elections. So if you want those people telling you how your life is going to run, go right ahead and continue living your life. Yeah, he gave this beautiful visual model of how few people vote in the local elections, in the midterm elections, things like that. So it was brilliant and a very heartfelt discussion of democracy. And so thank you, David Byrne, and thanks to everyone who supports Headcount.
Indeed. Now, to get back to the matter at hand, I very rarely do this, but tonight I'm going to make a prediction. I've looked back over the set lists, and I can very, very confidently predict that we will hear Althea tonight, because it's been several days since we heard it, and I know it's one of John Mayer's favorites. So it's the cheapest and easiest possible prediction for me to make. Since I don't bother making predictions most of the time and I prefer to be surprised, I'm offering it up anyway, just because I have a feeling I'm going to be right.
All right. Well, I can say just as authoritatively, I haven't given it any thought, but I look forward to whatever the guys have to play. I haven't been looking at the set list retroactively to figure out that math, but they haven't been going wrong very much at all. They'll pick a song, they'll play it in a spot of the show, and I'll say,
yeah,
nice.
And a lot of things have been moved out of their traditional place in the Grateful Dead repertoire. You know, the Grateful Dead concerts adopted a very consistent format over the last 15 or so years of the band's existence. And a lot of songs kind of only appeared in one particular spot and things like that, which, you know, is an understandable sort of calcification of things over time and all. But I found it a little bit disappointing, and I always loved it when something unexpected would happen, like they were playing Scarlet Begonias and suddenly they'd be playing, you know, Touch of Grey instead of going directly into Fire on the Mountain and things like that. And what Dead and Company does is really, really nice. They move things around in a lot of interesting ways and put songs in very unexpected places, like closing a second set with Deal, opening a second set with Althea, things like that. And splitting songs up, like we had little bits of Viola Lee blues deposited into a set the other night. I love that kind of stuff. And I love the fact that this band can navigate around these things and find really, really fascinating, interesting, and novel ways to make those transitions. It's just great.
Yeah, you know, and songs that were almost invariably first set songs will turn up after drums. Cumberland Blues turning up late in a show, and Dead and Company having transformed Cumberland Blues into a show that is worthy of stretching out and jamming on. You know, the Grateful Dead played Cumberland Blues just fine, don't get me wrong, but it was a fairly standardized arrangement. But here, when you get Jeff Cometti just going to town on the piano and he and John starting to trade licks, and you know, it transforms the song, and in part because of it appearing in the second set, it's really congruent with everything else that's going on in the second set. So it's so much creative, imaginative stuff happening in the context of this music right now, and I'm pretty damn pleased about the whole thing.
I am too, and I've been especially jazzed by watching the interactions between John Mayer and Jeff Chimenti, but just feeling John Mayer has really this season has really sort of stepped up to another level of engagement and mastery. I think he's really much more comfortable with the songs, I think, and sort of occupying them in new ways and original ways, and a lot of which sort of build on what Jerry Garcia had done with them earlier. So he's honoring the past while using it to build toward a future with this music. And it's, again, as a music geek, which I am, this stuff is really, really satisfying. And there are a million ways to engage this music, and some people don't give a rat's ass about all this analysis we're giving you right now. They just want to dance. Well, guess what? They get their way too.
That's right. Hey, we just got a message from Mission Control that the show is encountering a weather delay.
Whoa.
I don't know if that entails us having to talk a whole lot more, or if we're going to get some word as to how long it's anticipated. We can always go with "Please Stay Tuned." That's an ever popular song on the set list, and if it comes to that, we might go away, come back, give you an update. We're going to await what the band is hearing from. They are always monitoring the radar. Always, maybe it'll be a front that'll pass through quickly. We hope so. Midwest weather this time of year ain't no joke. So we'll have to see what happens. But in the meantime, we're here. And as we said, there's a bunch of great stuff to talk about in case we are prevailed upon to talk. Of course, that box set that's just now coming out of Grateful Dead Productions and Rhino, the St. Louis box set where the band just played the other night. A new season. Yeah. We're getting instructions. All right, we are going to get off the screen right now. Await our instructions. Await the band's instructions from the Weather Service. We hope this doesn't last too long. We hope everyone in Wrigley Field gets to take shelter somewhere safe, and we wish you all well. Stand by,
and
folks.
We'll either be back before the show or we'll be back at set break. It depends on what they need us to do, and it depends on what the weather does to them. So everybody hold tight, and we'll see you at one time or the other, and enjoy the show whenever it starts.
Good luck, everybody.
Yeah.